gloves are coming off. I've given some of these perfumes years to impress me, and I'm finally done. I either finished the bottles, I finished the decants, I compared them with everything else that I could put my hands on and in my collection. So final reviews in the new installment of Last Drops are in. What I'm gonna buy, what I hated, what I loved, what I got a replacement for, a backup of, and what I got rid of because it was just plain boring, which is more common, but sometimes just plain sort of maybe not so little unpleasant. All right. We're gonna start classic with the bath times. I'm one of those freaks who buys expensive fragrance house produced bath and body collections. And if you look at the state of them, by the time they hit the light of the camera, you can tell a lot about how the person grew up if you can see these. Obviously, I've used up every single drop, every single little patch, what was left of this cream, and I got them together as a gift set. Yes, I am also one of those very dated personalities on the internet who buys gift sets for herself. Anyway, Sisley. Sisley is famous for what? Sisley is famous for producing very grown-up, bitter, unapologetically sophisticated shippers, as they're called. So these are bitter, sour, semi-sweet, sometimes powdery combinations. Shipper is supposed to be a contrast between something savory, think in food terms, olives, any pickled stuff, bitter stuff, anchovies maybe, plus a contrast with something romantic, either powdery or usually classically fruity. So Shippers by Sisley are cult classic. They were for a long time until they kind of faded with the barrage of new releases. Nevertheless, one of my favorite shippers of all time. I have a vast collection of shippers. I'll leave a link below. You can see that I've done my time with shippers. But Soir d'Orient is their flanker of their original shipper called Soir, which is unbearably bitter even for me. But the addition of spices here, and when we're talking about body cream, it just lays so nicely on the skin, and their body products by Sisley are actually really good, which is probably no surprise because they have a whole skincare line, so they know what they're doing when it comes to formulations of this kind. I enjoyed every drop of it. I savored it. It was a long-lasting body cream. It smells exactly like Soir d'Orient. If we're looking at the pyramid, I must say that the pyramid in itself doesn't really strike me as what it is, because when we see saffron listed in the marketing pyramid, we always think of Baccarat Rouge. I don't get that. I'm not a big fan of Baccarat Rouge. If you're tired, exhausted of that very medicinal iodine, trauma wound rewrapping smell, which is usually attributed to saffronol and other saffron-related components, I don't find it here at all. To me, that has nothing to do with Baccarat, which is a good thing in this case. Rose, yeah, but like rose, geranium, patchouli, this is the classical shipper formula, so it doesn't also tell us as much beside the fact that it belongs to the genre. And the only thing that makes us think of a spicier, as they say, d'Orient, is incense and what else? Black pepper. But there is more. I feel way more richer, more nuanced spiciness in this one than their marketing description would afford. I love this thing. It is a more wearable shipper by Sisley. And as I said, my top favorite. I have a few others, I do, but if I could recommend one shipper by Sisley or one grown-up shipper, this would be this one. And as I said, absolutely recommend their Bath and Body line if you find it in gift sets, if you find it by itself. Good quality, good formulations, actually works on the skin, long lasting. It smells exactly as eau de parfum. And oddly enough, sometimes with more austere or serious perfume compositions, they are more wearable if you wear them as a body lotion. It's sometimes it's easier to appreciate them in everyday wear that way than to endure the whole majestic loudness of them in eau de parfum. It depends on your mood, on your tolerance, on your sensitivity of your nose. Just saying, if you have been struggling with a given perfume, try to mix it in with a simple occlusive or not very strongly fragranced body lotion. You might be surprised how much more wearable it gets. I do that regularly. So that is used up. Let me show you another one, and then we'll talk about the replacement strategy here for my not so mindful consumption these days. Anyway, I finished up another gift set that I bought for myself. L'Artisan Parfumeur. And look, I found an old formulation with golden tops, huh? You can still find them. I'll leave a link down below. That said, if you're not sure what morning rose, what green rose, what satisfies your cravings, then I'll leave another link down below. You can get a sampler and make an intelligent choice, because I've assembled quite a collection, not to show some others, of morning roses that I think are creme de la creme, top of market. And if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars just to find one that you maybe sort of love, this is the way to go, in my opinion. Anyway, I have been loving Rose Privée for a long time. It's not a well-known rose by L'Artisan Parfumeur. It's not well-known at all. What's special about it in my book is the fact that it is rose basilic. And basilic, I feel, is the note of the last 2 years, and I think it's still going strong in 2026 as the unusual fresh twist on greenness in perfumery. There was a moment, if you remember, when was that? Somebody help me out here. When rhubarb was the note for fresh green fragrances. I want to say 2017, 16 maybe. And I feel now in 2020, since 2023, or if not before that, instead of rhubarb, it's all about basilic. So this is an oldie, actually. It's been around for a while. It's not well known, but it is a delightful, fresh morning rose with basilic. It's fun. I love it. I used up a whole bottle, got myself the gift set, and finished up the body cream. When it comes to the quality of the body care by L'Artisan Parfumeur, it's well made in terms of packaging, but I dare say is not the smell itself, the way they reformulate the fragrance in order to fit it into a different medium, is 7 out of 10. I still recognize it. It's decently moisturizing. It's okay. It's not the worst, but it's also nothing to write home about. So I already had a few Bath and Body products by L'Artisan Parfumeur, and every time my verdict was the same. It's 6, 7 out of 10, or even sometimes 5. I can't say that I recommend it like a lot, but it's okay. If you find a gift set like I did with Rose Privée, it's just the fragrance itself. I think it's absolutely genius. It's an underrated hero. You can still get it if you're, and I'll leave a link down below. Moving on. So what do I usually do in this type of luxury category? I have a soft spot for Bath and Body by premier fragrance houses, because we're going to talk about Amouage next. But when it comes to body lotions and like all these stuff, it's too easy to overbuy. I mean, it is too easy to overbuy anything these days. But I find for me, especially in the skincare category, maybe it's my beauty influencer roots creeping in, it's too easy. So I have a very strict accounting schematics in play. I do 1 for 1 or 2 for 1. I have to use up 2 before I buy 1, or if I'm already running low, I use up 1, buy another 1. I am finally getting down to the bare bones of my stash of premier luxury bath and body care by premier fragrance houses. Finally. That close to tell you that I only have just a few. I'm very close. But since I used up 2, I couldn't reach that level of minimalism that would be socially acceptable. It's not minimalism, it's not about me. So I ordered a new, fairly luxury perfume house body lotions, which I'll show you in the next haul. They still haven't arrived. They haven't arrived at my doorstep. I'm very excited. Very excited. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm more excited about Premier body care than I am about perfumes themselves. Moving on. Amouage Journey. I've bought at once, I think 5 or so shower gels, and yeah, I think all of them were shower gels. By Amouage, I'm still working through a few, but this is yet another one I finished. And Amouage Journey was not the worst offender. It actually is fairly believable to the way Journey Eau de Parfum smells. And I didn't fall in love with it. It took me forever to finish it. I ended up mixing it in with a very rough, leathery perfume. Think Chapar Leather Malaki or Black Incense Malaki. So these new car smell type of a leather, because I feel that in a classical fashion, Osmanthus, which smells like peach, apricot, fruity, floral, pairs really well with suede and leather. It's a classical trope genre in literature. There are so many perfumes that exploit that combination. And that's made it more usable for me, because otherwise it was just so jammy and at the same time insistently, cloyingly, sweetly annoying. Not in a way that La Vie est Belle or true syrupy perfumes in the designer market operate. Maybe slightly elevated, but still difficult to enjoy. It was just very one-sided. But once I added some really rough, brutal leather scent to this whole concoction, it started working much nicer. I used up a whole, 50 ml of shower gel. I cautiously would recommend Amouage Bath and Body products. They are very hit and miss. Lyric was not really believable to how Eau de Parfum smells. It was missing that incense factor. Dia was very believable, but much more diluted and softer. But Journey was like to the T how the Eau de Parfum goes. So it's hit and miss. I do enjoy them, but I'll give it 7 out of 10. I'm not sure. I think they need to redesign the packaging a little bit to make it a little more luxurious looking. Like, there are things to be improved there. Moving on. Entirely different market category. This is super affordable. It's almost hard to describe what this category of perfumes are. You know what I'm talking about? Like the classical coatis, the Dana parfums, some of those things that make us think of newspaper ads from the 70s. Ciara, which I presume by Revlon is a celebrity perfume, right? A lot of these you can still buy. God knows if they at all represent what they once were, but they never were very expensive to begin with, so it's not like we're losing so much craft if they are being reformulated. Nevertheless, Ciara had a decent niche devoted lovers, people who were nostalgic for the rich 50 note type of perfumery coming from the 80s. And a lot of people were saying that this sweet, abstract heaviness of Ciara reminded them of a wet sauna. And to a lot of people, it can have like cultural heritage nuances if they grew up going with their parents or in their community to a wet sauna. If that was a ritual and where they grew up, that can be, I understand how it can be a cherishable association. To me, it was just similar to, who was that? Takada? Rasha Takada, I think. It's very recognizable, retro, old lipstick type of a scent. And the pyramids just don't make any sense. Let's acknowledge this is a very cheap chemical concoction. It doesn't smell astringent, it doesn't smell of alcohol, but it doesn't smell expensive or nuanced or deep either way. I ended up using it as a bathroom air refreshener, and I'm never gonna buy this again. And this what sometimes I want to save a bottle or two like this, so I never ever again spend hundreds of dollars in $10 bites trying to find diamond in the rough among the cheapies. It never happens. Though, does it? Does it never happen? Because it does, but only with certain specific brands. And these are, among many, there's Jil Sander. I know that they revamped their fragrance collection and they try to position themselves to these it's not even Nepo babies, it's these architecture master degree international elite type of youth who casually attends, I presume, Milan Fashion Week just for fun. I'm sure those 3 clients are very happy with their collection, but otherwise it's not entirely clear to me to whom, where, and how is this supposed to be presented and catered to. Anyway, but the old classics by Jil Sander, which is a German designer fashion brand, are the shit, to put it impolitely. I used up one and I already bought a backup. This is Jil Sander Style. Again, the marketing pyramid is beside the point to me. To me, this is a budget clone of Love Lilac by Amouage, just maybe slightly simplified. To me, this is creamy, lilac-y abstraction. It's like this, it's like a ceramic bowl made of light lilac, colored in light lilac color and super polished. It's so the packaging actually fits. I don't find any peppery spiciness here. I don't really find it to be very irisy either, or violet, not in the sense that we're used to in niche perfumery these days. You will not find it here. If you're looking for proper violet or iris, you will be disappointed. I would rather think of clean laundry with a lilac facet plus a little bit of vanillin, just a little bit of this whipped cream feel. This is a beautiful, creamy, abstract lilacs, clean scent, clean laundry with a lilac scent. This is not watery lilacs, this is not hyper-realistic lilacs, this is also not very lactonic per se. It's just a very cool, yuppity, abstract, clean scent with a touch of creamy lilacs. I love it. It completely replaced for me the craving for a much more expensive Amouage garden line, which is beautiful. No questions there, but a bit too expensive for what it is. So this is my second bottle This is gonna be my third bottle. Very soon they will finally exit the market, so if you can get them now. They're super cheap. I'm also happy to include included in a variety of nude perfume, whisper in your ear, perfumes for introvert sets, so you can check all of that out, the link down below. Needless to say, a favorite, I got myself a replacement, no regrets, highly recommend if you can find them. But let's go back to the morning routine. I like to start to kind of go through these final reviews and empties and last drops through the lightest to morning, day, and the evening, and the heavy hitting olfactory compositions at the end. So florals, freshies, all kinds of looking for something new and something ordinary, because colognes and fresh perfumes all seem to be the same and yet not. I have gotten myself into a new, I would say, mini obsession lately. After I was done with investigating the world of Frangipani and fruity florals, and you can see all of those episodes on Perfume Nation channel and Maria Miliora on YouTube, I got myself into Mimosa. Really unusual, because it's a very spring, more complex, more intellectual type of floral. I got into it in the middle of summer in Florida in July. I completely used up. It's a very budget-friendly perfume brand. You can find it in some places in Europe. I got mine like in a box, contraband from a friend. This is called Brocard, and this is Tulip and Mimosa. If you live in Europe and if you look around, they can cost like $5 per 100 ml. And these are not silly. These are not rough. These are not primitive compositions. Brocard is very experimental on very small budget. So I really enjoyed that. That said, is it the most evocative, the most hyper-realistic and beautiful Tulip and Mimosa scent? No, but I sure as hell enjoyed bathing in it. Such an easy, reliable floral. But then I started digging deeper into Mimosa itself, and a lot of people prefer Mimosa to be slightly more creamy, powdery, and I guess I think discontinued Mimosa by Amouage is where it's going. It's been a while since I had a chance to try it. But I've tried Perris Monte Carlo Mimosa Tanneron, which was given to me by a subscriber. It's a very reliable classical mimosa. I do respect Perris Monte Carlo. I have 2 perfumes from them. It's a good quality niche. If you're looking for a well-made, very cleanly defined olfactory concept, Mimosa, Ylang Ylang, Osmanthus, Vetiver, you can find it with Perris Monte Carlo. That said, as reliable as this mimosa is, as many fragrances by Perris Monte Carlo, is it the best niche, truly interesting mimosa-centric perfume on the market? I've got quite a few that could beg to differ, and I'm desperately waiting for someone to leave a comment and say like, yes, let's do a mimosa episode. Shall we? I think mimosa these days, it's like key to a more distinguished, sophisticated floral composition. It is the key to powderiness. It is the key to sophistication, and it's almost gives you a shipper without a shipper. I know a lot of people struggle with these non-gourmand floral trend, and I think mimosa is how you get into it. So let me know if you want to hear more. I just left a few drops here just in case if I need it for the review. Otherwise, I enjoyed it. I have quite a collection. And I'm not gonna buy it just yet because I think there are better players on the market. All right, this was tough. This is yet another this experimental, very affordable brand Brocard that I got from Europe through a friend. And they have this whole nature, the smells, the sounds of nature collection, and they have really peculiar, odd, rare, very Nordic, sometimes centric compositions that you can't find not easily. You can't find references like that in the United States, in Canada. In Canada, maybe some nature is similar, but you can definitely not find products that would explore such rare ingredients, such as buckthorn, gooseberry, these very rare berries, or I guess buckthorn grows on a tree or a shrub. It smells very believable of both. It does, which is mind-blowing to me. But oddly enough, it was very hard to wear as a personal perfume, so I kept using the Buckthorn and Gooseberry by Brocard as a room spray. It really sends you places. If you grew up north and you know what the Buckthorn smells like, and if you ate gooseberry as a child, this is a trip. I'm telling you, I've never met a perfume that actually explored and exploited that type of collective memory, of that connection to nature. This is really cool stuff. The only minus is that I couldn't enjoy it as a personal perfume, so I used it as an atmosphere spray, as a room spray. Cool beans though. And since we're on the kick with Brocard, let me finish by saying that I enjoyed all of them. It's just some of them do work better as olfactory landscapes than personal perfumes. However, there another line that was, I think, something about Spain or Italy, I'm not entirely sure, called Frangipani line by Brocard, Siesta. Such a lovely white floral. I am yet to meet a white floral that is jasmine-centric or like more abstract, when you can't even tell, is it freesia, is it gardenia, a little bit of everything. I am yet to meet one of those white florals that I don't like. But that's also their downfall. They all smell the same. You can only tell the difference if you smell them comparatively one against the other. And I used probably half as a personal perfume. It's a very wearable perfume. You can put your hands on Siesta by Brocard. It's a very reliable. It doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell synthetic. That said, it doesn't smell that distinctive. And I have a few in my collection that I think are a little bit more interesting. So Siesta gives you this general freesia, gardenia, jasmine, not necessarily creamy, but very sunny, very luscious type of scent. But for that very reason, I really enjoy Latin Lover by Carner Barcelona, and I already have a bottle. What's interesting about Latin Lover is, as charming as it is also as faceless as Siesta by Brocard. And I'm looking forward to it. I had a decant that I left alone, was like, yeah, cute, nothing special. And I left that decant alone for a couple of years. It macerated and it became incredibly sweet, dense, rich, very Lancôme Poème, the old school Lancôme Poème style, yellow floral plus white floral bouquet. So when I use it as is, this bottle is fairly fresh. It's charming, but I'm looking forward to letting it stay on the shelf for a couple of years and becoming this diva ambrosia of florals in full bloom in the middle of July's Sunday, midday. That feel. Latin Lover has potential. And when it comes to the best sunny, semi-sweet jasmine that I've ever smelled, I already have my favorite. This is a refill. After Midnight by the Different Company. Oh my God. I have dedicated a whole video to midsummer nights because of this perfume. It is so geniusly accessible because usually, as I said, white florals are charming and faceless, but this, so not gonna rebuy it, even though that would not really break my wallet. It's just very hard to get in United States, but I really appreciate the fact that I had 300 milliliters of these delightful, affordable, fun, believable watercolory compositions. Great stuff, Brocard. Let's raise the level of sophistication just a little bit. Niche, Nicolai Parfumeur Créateur, Le Mixte. I have finished, well, there's probably 2 little drops, which I'm gonna use up right after this video. I got this as a blind buy. No, I'm lying. I got this after I used a small decant, but I got it together with a few other perfumes by Nicolai Parfumeur, which is, I think, granddaughter, or she is an heir of Guerlain's actual family of Guerlain. And she was not, the story goes that she could not ascend in the corporate circles of Guerlain because she was a girl. So she decided to become her own person and she created her own brand. At least that's the storyline that's being circled around. Interesting French niche brand. To me, a lot of their bases smell rather cheap. Not a big fan. I tried Thick Tea. I tried a few of their rose florals. I tried something else. There was like 5 of them. This is the only one that survived the test of time, and it's the only one that I finished. Le Mixte. I find that this is the best cologne without being a cologne. This is very quiet, very skin verbena type of like lemony, minty, musky, abstract floral that gives you this both slight minty citrusy feel, but it's almost a whisper. And that's what I like about it. It doesn't yell with citruses. The colognes usually do. I'm not a big fan of that classical style of making citrusy perfumes. But here it's just, there's certain lotiony lusciousness about it, about Le Mixte. And it's better and more interesting. Brother from Another Mother for a much more expensive Francis Kurkdjian Aqua Universalis or Aqua Universalis Forte. I had both. They're very similar. This is better. This is better. That said, this is a cologne for people who don't like citrusy colognes. If you like nudie introverted perfumes, if you find yourself iris paper heliotrope queen of something not a perfume type of stuff, and yet you want a little bit more of a diversity of nuances, Le Mixte is where it's at. I used it up. I nearly bought myself a replacement, but then I remembered that I just got myself 100 ml of Laboratorio Olfattiva Need You, which is a more expensive, or I think they're about the same in price, more Ambrexany, less enticing version of this, but I have it. If you look at what we're dealing with here, it's pretty much the same stuff. Just way more Ambrexan, which I'm not a big fan of. It's okay. I'll wear it until I'm done with it, and then I'll have to reckon, and hopefully you can guide me here, with reformulate the only perfume that I like from the whole line of Patricia and Nicolai, and yet they decided to reformulate it. They did. It's now called Le, I think. It's a different version of this. I don't know if it's still as good as the original. Guys, if you tried both, let me know. I'm a little devastated. I'm a little devastated, so I'm late, so late to the party, and I'm bound my own rules not to have too many versions of the same thing. So I am gonna start working on it. This is quieter, less interesting version of the same. Need you. It's fine. I'll bathe in it for morning, for gym, for whatever. I'll just try to use it up and forget about it. As much as I love the white line by Laboratorio Olfativo, I have sold a lot of bottles for them just by praising their Nun, Milo, and a lot of other Découvert. Cozumel is my skin better. I love them. I have a lot of bottles. This, I don't know what this was. It's a bit too little. It's a bit too little. Anyway, moving on. Another freshie. And this time, very intriguingly, it's a fairly new, it's only 2 years old. It's a fairly new release by Floris, which is a British style of blending. Think Puritan, think watercolory, somewhat astringent, somewhat intentionally simplistic, some of their perfumes. Not everything. Floris has a very wide line. And the honey oud, you cannot call that watercolory. But the Wilde, that is devoted to Oscar Wilde, that is devoted to this gender fluid, coded language of otherness to each other, when being out of the closet is not an option, wearing a carnation was considered to be a sign between men. So Oscar Wilde loved carnations, and this is a green, fresher take on carnation as a flower. I dedicated a whole episode to ginger. Do I smell ginger here? Not really. Maybe it's just added together to enhance this breathiness and freshness of the Wilde. I used up, how many is that? I think it's like maybe 8 mil, 10 mil. I used that 10 mil, truly enjoyed it, really wanted to buy a full-size bottle. It's on my wish list. But the moment I thought of it, the prices jumped 30%. I consider this a testament to my influencing powers over the internet sellers. Wilde remains a very cool, as I said, basilic. That's what keeps green genre in perfumery interesting right now. Green carnations is another twist that I think is worth exploring. Really good stuff. Highly recommend. If you can find it secondhand, or if you don't mind paying full price, this is, and what's beautiful about it is the very cohesive blend of everything together. Floris, British, history. Oscar Wilde is one of the gems of British literature. Carnation is such a regal flower that lost its popularity through ages because it was commoditized by the floral industry and often used for a lot of war-related, remembering our heroes. A lot of carnations were used as almost like a military flower, and then it fell out of grace. While pink carnation, have you seen anything more beautiful than a big bouquet of pink carnations? Beautiful flower. So I am all for Wilde because of everything that it encompasses. The delicate freshness and greenness, carnation, Oscar Wilde, Floris, British style of blending, everything is perfect. It came together in this one beautifully designed and cohesively weaved in together concept. It remains on my wish list. I just feel bitter that once I decided to buy it, it jumped in price. It's not fair. But what is? All right, these two empties are my reference to the Frangipani episode in this whole era of tropical florals that I went on, and fruity florals. I finished up the Ormonde Jayne Frangipani. This is 8 ml. It was quite a long time. Despite this being one of those classical Frangipani scents, and a lot of people say that to them it smells just like the plumeria that they grew up smelling. I don't know where is it, Pacific Islands or Latin America, definitely the tropics. To me, this was actually not the best, not the most believable Frangipani scent. And if you want to know which one was the best in my opinion, I send you to that episode in Perfume Nation about Frangipani, Manoi, Tiare, Plumeria, and all of the solar tropical florals. And another one from that very review that I bought, tried and finished is Rag & Bone Manoi. Manoi is blends a fruitier and more coconutty, kind of a well-rounded gardenia type of scent into Frangipani. And I liked it more as a perfume than Ormonde Jayne Frangipani. That said, neither of them was it for me. So very grateful, enjoyed it. I mean, tropical florals are good. They're charming. I can't say that this is my go-to category of fragrances. They're not even my go-to in florals. Lilies are. So thank you. Thank you. Moving on. All right. This was interesting. And this I have to try again. I am in this unrequited love with Arquiste as a brand. For some reason, my mind decided, without asking me, that I am the person who buys everything by Arquiste. And I've been diligently hunting down decants or ways to sample things before I actually get a full-size bottle. And one after another, I find myself not in love with them. So, A Grove by the Sea is relatively new. Their take on how to keep fresh perfumes fresh. So they decided that their twist is going to be olive. And let me tell you, I've tried a few olive perfumes. Among them, the one that I almost, I was so close. It was South Italy. They're famous for their olives. South Italy brand Casamarati. Xerjov Casamarati is the same. It's the same company. And they have Fiori di Olivo, the flower of the olive tree. Good, zesty, verdant, freshy. This has a little bit more of a salty, mineral saltiness to that olive, plus a warmer, well-rounded fruitiness. I presume that's fig and sweet clementine. Okay. When it comes to clay and more abstract notes, that don't ask me, I can't really testify to that. To me, it's great mineral saltiness that I love in also Arquiste's Sydney Rockpool. I do enjoy it. It's a bit loud for me, but this is why I think if you're a guy, guys tend to like louder, stinkier stuff for whatever reason. If you are looking for a green, fresh scent, but you're tired of citrusy colognes and you're tired of those unidentifiable blue liquids, Basilic, I think, is always a good twist. And I'll show you a few options soon. I ordered a few. But this, A Grove by the Sea, a mineral salt plus olive, it's cool. I did enjoy it, but I mostly gave it away to my guy friends so they could make a more informed purchasing decision. I appreciate it, but for some reason I don't enjoy wearing it. It's not, I guess it's too dense for my nose, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. Arquiste is playing with my mind, man. Yes, but no, but yes, but no. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know what it is. I really appreciate their fragrances. I just can't wear them. Anyway, moving on. Put that on as a note. If you're interested in green freshies that are different, that are twisted, this is the one to watch. Slowly but surely, I'm finishing up my sampler set given to me by a subscriber. Thank you so much. Of Celine. Celine, that is impossible to try anywhere but their own boutiques. As I learned after making a whole deep dive into Celine, decoding the brand value, how they compose their perfumes, what they're all about, you can watch it separately. The comments are probably the most precious part of that video, because I uncovered a whole world of people who are hardcore, devoted fans of Celine. And this is, I think, this is a special cohort of people who might have 2 bottles of perfume, but one of them will be Celine. It's impressive, because this is like $400 bottles, and I think that's before taxes. It's quite an investment. It's a very, I would say, even harsh aesthetic judgment, right? You are really opting out of all of the variety for the sake of one, and the one that you choose is Celine. Very focused choice. So I'm slowly working through my collection of samples, and this is Eau de Californie, which to me was kind of fresh, mossy bergamot. I really enjoyed it. That said, to me, as cool as it is, it's not worth the price tag, because I have quite a few other very bergamot heavy scents, including Laboratorio Olfattiva Bergamotto that I'm working through. They do the trick. It's just not something that it's not the Celine that I would buy. If you want to know which one is worth, if you're the hard on money, watch that episode. Watch Celine Decoded. But that was great. When it comes to having something fresh, mossy, misty bergamot, Palo Santo, it's almost like walking in Half Moon Bay, I am frequenting Rosa Verde by, it's a discontinued Valentino. You can still get it in at least one place that I'll leave a link down below if you want to sample truly fresh, it's almost shocking how bergamoty fresh this rose is. I don't know how this fragrance composition even made it to a designer perfume, how it made it into Valentino Donna line that was classical, sweet, charming, something, just like usually the designer perfumer is, how this made it there. Because this is a very niche perfume composition. It's really great. I can tell you that the gingerish, bergamoty freshness it just opens your lungs. It's really cool. I like this way more than Saint Laurent Blouse, even though I love Blouse too. Those bitter musky roses have a place in my heart, but this is a surprise because it originally came as just yet another flanker. It's a very special bergamot rose, actually, that not many people know about. Anyway, so I'm kind of replacing Celine with that. It's a little more interesting and comfortable for me to wear. Next is a special thanks to you guys. When I made an episode in Perfume Nation about the morning routine, how I tested a lot of different olfactory designs, trying to biohack my way into the perfect pick-me-up feel in the morning. And I found that some of the perfumes were the things that I expected to work didn't work, things that I didn't expect to work sometimes surprised me in a good way. And somebody suggested in the comment section then Dusita, Flor de la Lita, which I classified for my own simplicity of access to my perfume collection, a very vast perfume collection, mind you. That is like charming, abstract white lily scent, nothing special, but it's also like very romantic, very charming. And kind of forgot about it. I love white lilies, but I like a more either more animalic or more spicy lilies. This, I thought, this is great. Ducita did a great job, and I forgot about it. And then somebody wrote to me like, have you tried this without the marketing, the Fleur de la Lita? Have you tried this kind of blindly? Just wake up, spray it, and see what you feel. And I did. And I used up 5 ml in the morning, and I was shocked just how differently I perceived it outside of the marketing, and how I casted it as a charming, silly floral. It has this hidden, neroli, spicy zest to it. And I think as Galbanum, Ducita, Pissarra, she loves her Galbanum. Some of her Galbanum heavy creations are, it is for Galbanum lovers, let me tell you. Like, I get a headache from some of the stuff that is very Galbanum heavy by her. So this is an appropriate amount of Galbanum that she added. That is not too merciless, but it really, it almost becomes a floral shipper. When I started smelling it right when waking up in the morning, spices, bitterness, neroli type of scratchiness, freshness, but that floral beauty at the end, in the heart, that softens it all together. It's such a beautiful floral shipper. What is this? It is Fleur de la Lita. I used up 5 ml and I fell in love with it all over again. And now I just see it differently. Entirely different perfume. For me, now. Love it. Used up 5 ml. I'm putting it aside. I'm kind of fresh green kick right now. Slightly less floral, but mimosas, all kinds of green twists. That's where I am. But I just had to tell you, because 5 ml just flew by like nobody's business. It's beautiful. Okay, this I tried to love because this was supposed to be a nutty vetiver with this candied oranges facet, and I just didn't. I used it up as a room spray. This is vetiver by commodity. I got myself a very large bottle, and I can't fall in love with it. You can find it very cheaply on resale or gray marketplaces, but it's just not a vetiver. Vetiver is both fresh and dry and cerebral, and can be smoky, can be nutty. There are a lot of facets to vetiver that you can exploit. But there is also banal vetiver that you can find in dozens of perfumes that are marketed toward men. It's not bad. Even the worst of the vetivers, in my mind, is better than Amber Max or Aventus Creed style perfume. Just a personal preference. I find vetiver is always wearable. No matter who made it, how made it, it's always wearable. That said, because it's so ubiquitous, just like rose or jasmine, it's very easy to be bored with a vetiver-centric fragrance. And this doesn't even have that much vetiver in it. I just don't get vetiver in it. And what else is there? These slightly odd, oily, citrusy, nutty combination does not save it, does not make it better either. So all in all, it's a miss for me. I just use it up as a room refreshener without much joy derived from it either. It brings me no joy to talk about this in the way that I'm about to. So I'm gonna try to be short and as sweet as I can, given that it's not gonna be the most glowing review. I have tried, thinking that I would do a brand review, I have tried a lot of fragrances by Atelier des Ors and arrived at the conclusion that this is yet another one circa Instagram luxury of 2010. 2014, maybe, type of a brand. I am not a big fan of their packaging, though granted it's original. This whole thing of putting gold flakes in the bottle is it's like Middle Eastern gold, 20 cents a kilogram style type of luxury. I appreciate the desire to stand out, to have your own packaging, that I do appreciate. But what they ended up doing, I don't find to be aesthetically appealing or interesting or worth holding in my hands, especially given the price. So to me, this is yet another bodycheia type of situation. It's not even old school. It's not hard luxury. It's not old school luxury. It's not quiet luxury. It's just ostentatious, glazing, dark chocolate and gold type of luxury. It's nouveau riche, what it's used to be called. It's not bad, but it's also not anything that shows originality. A lot of Parfums de Marly have been getting that criticism, though they do contain quite a few bestsellers. This brand, Atelier d'Ors, hasn't even accomplished that status. So let's get through that quickly. Pamela Revere, delightful, wearable, grapefruit, sweet grapefruit. I enjoyed it. It sounds very similar to about 1,000 other sweetened jasmine-y grapefruits. And that's about it. If you can find those for, I would say, fair price for them is $60. Why not? They're well enough made. I'll give them that, but not for full price. Okay, this is gonna be a bit of a sore point. Lune Filine. It is there. I even left a few drops so I could give you a comparison. This was a little bit more bitter about because this Lune Filine got some hype as a, let me refresh it, as a really, really luscious, rich, beautiful amber fragrance. There are a lot of beautiful amber fragrances on the market. There's no shortage of deep, rich, spicy, this, that amber fragrances. So it's not like anybody was asking for it, but we also can't tolerate more beautiful amber fragrances. It's a crowd pleaser category. And yet, Lune Filine got some notoriety. It got famous. Out of all of the fragrances by this line, I think this is the one that people recommended more often. But to me, it smells like putty. It smells like clay that you use to make little figurines with kids. It has this plasticky putty smell. And it's very sweet, cloying myrrh. And if we are talking about a beautiful amber, I even brought it in. It's like, come on. If you have L'Ambre Extreme by L'Artisan Parfumeur, which you can find for a fairly affordable price, especially if you can find the old school version of it, this is like my top 3 ambers of all time. I don't understand why do we need to argue about ambers anymore? Yes, Grand Soir is decent. Not my favorite, but Francis Kurkdjian made a very decent, very expensive amber, Grand Soir. But if you really want that feel of myrrh, balsamy, sweet, almost like waxy, melting candles, there is Le Labo Labdanum, which doesn't smell like labdanum. It smells like melting candles. When I want this feeling of being in Orthodox Christian church, which usually are, especially old ones, medieval ones, they're small, they're usually made of wood, and they would burn many candles. There would be almost no fresh air there. And the combination of myrrh, frankincense, and the melting candle wax, it was all these smothering but very comforting scent that you could feel. That's what Labdanum by Le Labo delivers on beautifully without being sticky sweet. This is plasticky and sticky sweet at the same time. I literally could not even finish the sample. It was so off-putting for me. Some brands, when they say myrrh, they go for this syrupy, sticky, sweet, caramelly almost aspect of myrrh. And it just drives me nuts. Moving on. Clearly not a favorite. Cuir Secret. Where are you? Also used it up. This one was easy. It's one of those softly spicy white leather scents. That said, if you have other white leather scents, and I happen to have Dame Blonde by Serge Lutens, which is apricot and white leather. I have BDK, cream leather, I think it's called. I've had Mortal Skin by Stefan Lucas 777. There are plenty of light, delicate leather scents that I already have in my collection. I don't need any more of that. Again, if the price was $70, I could be persuaded. There's nothing there that it's, and also the gaudiness of the bottles. Jeez. Anyway, moving on. Decent, many other options that are available to you on the market. Take your pick in terms of packaging, price points, and the branding. Rosa Mejare, that was even more confusing. How many raspberry syrupy roses do we need on the market until the market finally decides it's enough? It's boring. I tried to wear it. This is just so boring that I feel I'm wasting skin space trying to make it work. No. Musc Immortelle. That was the one that I probably enjoyed the most, but it's also very much one of those sweet, as I call them, boiled musks. It's the kind of musk that don't smell sour, they don't smell like laundry detergent, they smell like custard cream. That's a subgenre of musky perfumes. They have this soft, enveloping, kind of custardy feel to them, and there are quite a few, and probably the most famous and the king of boiled musks is Musc Ravageur by Frederic Maltz. If I wanted to get like the best of the best, I would get that. Also, the Armani Privée, they also have a musk. I can't remember the full name of it. They're like nearly clones of each other with Musc Immortelle. So if you can find it, as I said, for like $70, They are decent. They're just not worth the full price tag. And that brings me to an insider point that I'm gonna also try to be concise about. I tried 3 perfumes by Nicolai because I wanted to expand my collection beyond Royal Musca, and I have a few others, but this, oddly enough, I started getting into Royal Musca after I finished my Carner Barcelona Tardis, because both of them belong to my subcategory on my shelves of nudie, pillowy, whisper in your ear, very demure perfumes. Royal Musca is this lotiony, soft peach or apricot type of a scent. I love it. It's very luxurious. It's very subtle. Beautiful stuff. So I should remind myself what Nicolai is all about. So I tried Delice, which was very unmemorable, sweet something. I did not really, maybe plus cinnamon. Cinnamon is not my favorite in perfumery. It's been overdone, I guess, in the beginning of 2000, so I got enough cinnamon for me. Just not memorable. It's not the most deep, the most interesting. It's not dynamically evolving in any fashion. I was like, oh, the bottle, I also couldn't really relate. Royal Vintage was even worse. Royal Vintage smelled like every other men's perfume. Just close your eyes, pull one. Why? Why are we doing this? Even though 6 years ago, but still 2020, why are we doing this in 2020? Why are we doing this in 21st century? Why? I don't know. Nobody knows. Moving on. And the last one that I tried, I was like, right. The bottle is a bit gaudy, but it's very Micallef. It's their classics, Monte Perfume Pearl. And again, reminds me of Rosa Miade by Atelier des Ors, because it's yet another raspberry syrup, sour berry syrupy sweet rose. There is a whole brand dedicated to this genre. I think it was Parfums de Rosine, I think it was called. I don't know if they're still around. Why? Why are we doing this? I think Micallef, that I cherish Pure Musca so much, just lost its way a little bit. I think they were 10 years ahead of time when they came up with this. They were pre-Kilian Fruchulis. If you think what Micallef was all about, Micallef was Coco Mademoiselle type of perfumery in niche market that was done with true love for these bourgeois comforts. It didn't try to be conceptual. It didn't try to be rebellious. It didn't try to be Middle Eastern golden gold luxury. They were very bourgeois comforts. And they did it so well. Pure Extreme, Note Vanille, my favorite, Pure Musca. What happened? Did they do it too well? That too many brands copied them? Kilian, notably. Kilian is more famous for what Micallef has done a decade before they came into play. So I feel sour. I'm a little salty, I'm a little sour, I'm a little concerned. Because I don't want them to go out of business. I want them to find it again. And maybe we just need another revival of bourgeois comforts, because we're very quickly losing them. I don't know if you noticed, with all this global upheaval going on, the simple bourgeois comforts of aspiring to be middle class and enjoying, just simply making it to middle class and then enjoying it being middle class. Enjoying your life, doing some work, having some hobbies, having some family time, but I mean enjoying some comforts, enjoying some little sweet indulgences. This world seems to be slipping away through our fingertips. So this is me wanting them to find that new breath, because this is still amazing. But what I've been trying so far, maybe somebody just needs to send me like a few samples from their newer stuff. It's really concerning. That's not what they're best at. That's not worth recommending either. So I'll leave it at that. Where does it leave us? I've lately been all about the new. So a lot of my usage comes in full-size bottles, and until this, and this is gonna take a while, until this is completely empty, I'm not gonna talk about it in last drops. Just an audible mention, because I just gave a negative review to 3 others. But largely I've been focusing on the new and what I have, and much less on my very vast, very sprawling decant collection. So I think I'm gonna make some focused investments. I still hope there is some takers for Mimosa episode. Anyone? Because I think this is an olfactory key to a lot of our problems right now. I really believe so. I am looking forward to, maybe some of you would like to talk about greenness in perfumery and talk about those twists. I already touched upon basilic and olive, and I think this is the area worth exploring together more. And when it comes to other freshies, Wilde. I think it's definitely a standalone, a standout perfume that I haven't showed you full size bottle. I use it up. It's still on my wish list. Sooner or later, okay? I'm watching the markets. I'm also not above bribes. I'm not above bribes. If anyone wants to support this channel, and my address is always in the description down below. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, definitely cool beans, cool things here. But I have been dipping way more into the new. Just that's how it's going on right now. I'm curious, what have you been working on? What's been on your rotation? Have you finished up any bottles? Are you saving things? Are you trying to use them up? Are you trying to sell? Are you trying to buy? Let's talk. What's going on? I am to my end, I'm merciless. If I'm not using something as a proper perfume, I will use it as a diffuser. I will use it for linens. I will use it for socks. I'll use it for shoes. I will use it up. I am so done with trying to resell something or repackage or layer. I'm not against layering. I have a whole episode and tips on how to layer in the way that is the most interesting. I don't want to say efficient, but the most fruitful, so to speak. You can watch that on Perfume Nation, but generally layering to me is a sign of failure. It means something went wrong. You overshopped. You didn't buy thoughtfully. Layering usually is a sign you have a lot of things you don't need and you're trying to make the best of it. I genuinely prefer to get out of that category as soon as I can. I do enjoy the fact that a perfume composition, well, for example, that it's holistic, right? Like the packaging, the packaging, the composition, the branding, when everything comes together. I truly enjoy this non-linear, unique, everything just comes together and you wear it as a piece. It's so great when it happens that when people say, like, yeah, just layer, like, yeah, or I could layer two things I don't like, or and just feel like I hit the bullseye. That's right. That's the feeling when that's just it. This is how it should be done. This is by whom, this is when, this is where, and this is exactly how it should be done. I'm enjoying this whole thing. I don't even care, or I'm not thinking about alterations or modifications. I'm in this mind space, at least right now. I'm kind of curious where you are. Again, nothing against layering. I layer too every once in a while, but just lately I've been really chasing that bullseye, this non-linear combination of factors. When things come together, and that's it. That's just it. And to me, Floris Wilde, that's where everything just came together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's very important. I'm waiting, not so patiently, for your storytelling, for you sharing about your perfume collections. Let's talk.